Try doing it because the sun is actively plotting your destruction. The Bedouins weren't morning people by preference. They were morning people by survival strategy. In the desert, timing is everything. The heat doesn't ramp up gently. It slaps you across the face sometime after 9 a.m. and doesn't let up until sunset. So, Bedouins became masters of desert scheduling, rising before dawn to travel, rest during the inferno hours of midday, and continue again in the cooler twilight. Modern tourists call this siesta. Bedouins call it not dying on the road. They didn't march across dunes at noon just to prove a point. That's how you end up dizzy, dehydrated, and hallucinating mirages that try to sell you bottled water. Instead, they'd set up camp, find shade, sip tea. Yes, hot tea. We'll get to that. And let the sun do its worst while they quietly ignored it. Even the camels knew the drill. No panicked galloping. No dramatic desert sprints. Just calm, steady pacing, like they were strolling to a mildly urgent appointment. There was no prize for speed, only for not collapsing face first into sand. And then there's navigation. Travelling early or late means knowing where you're going when everything looks the same. Bedouins didn't use compasses. They used stars, shadows, and a memory so sharp it could probably recite dune patterns by name. They knew how to avoid rocky valleys that trapped heat, where the sand was softest, and which terrain was more slow bake versus deep fry. They knew when to detour, when to climb, and when to say, nope, not today, and wait it out under a goat hair tent. To outsiders, their pace looked slow, but in reality, it was the rhythm of survival. Rushing meant sweating more, losing water faster, and risking heat stroke. Steady movement meant you made it to the next well, village, or shady tree with enough energy to actually enjoy being alive. You can't talk about Bedouin survival without addressing the real star of the show, the camel. These beasts didn't just survive the desert, they made it look easy. Camels are like the desert edition of a Swiss army knife. Transportation, shade, milk factory, early warning system, and occasional attitude problem, all wrapped in a furry, knobbly package. To the untrained eye, camels appear grumpy, lopsided, and mildly inconvenienced by existence. But to the Bedouins, they were life partners. A Bedouin without a camel was just a guy standing in a heat wave wondering why his feet hurt. First of all, camels can go days, sometimes weeks, without water. This isn't a party trick.